Welcome back to the Keiser Report. I'm Max Keiser. Time now to go to Buenos Aires. Talk with Federico Ast of Crowdjury.org. It's a judicial system for the internet era. Federico, welcome to the Keiser Report.
Hi, Max. Thanks for having me.
All right, so tell us about Crowdjury. What is it?
Crowdjury is a platform for crowdsourced court investigations. I will tell you how it started because it's an interesting story. I am from Argentina, and here the judicial system was always quite corrupt and there was many problems. So we started to think, why is this happening? And we said, maybe because the court system is built with old technologies and the technologies of the 18th century. So we started to think, how would be a court system for the internet era? And we came up with this idea of crowdsourcing judicial investigations, and that's how it started.
Okay, so to walk through this a little bit, in other words, the jury system, you noticed in your country, was inadequate and was in many cases corrupt, and there was a lot of problems. So the idea was, could you create a platform, a crowdsourced platform, to affect a jury? So I take it that the way it works is that cases are presented and the algorithm or the platform would sort through input from the crowd and render a verdict accordingly? Is that kind of the way it works?
Yeah, that's right. There is a whistleblowing platform where people can present the reports, and then this goes to a jury that is crowdsourced on the crowd, and the platform chooses the right jury for the right kind of case, and then there is a decision, guilty, not guilty, and that's how the system works. Right.
So the jury selection process is also automated, or there's an algorithm behind it. So I guess it would go out into the universe of potential jurists and assemble a jury accordingly, and then it would hear the case. So the jury is actually, it's still manned by people, right? There's people in the jury, but and they render their decision at the end of the process. So it's not completely automated, correct?
No, there is people at the other end deciding if it's guilty or not guilty. But what is like transparent here is the way juries are chosen. There is this algorithm that is certified on the blockchain, so anyone can see how the jury was chosen, and so they can see that the process has not been tampered with. So the algorithm picks the jury, and it's not only one or three or like 10 judges. Trials can have like 50 or 100 juries, so this is much more transparent because you can bribe like 3 judges, but you can't bribe 100.
So this is an important distinction. Okay, so this is quite amazing, really, what's happening here. So, but just to understand it here, the technology crowdsources, it goes out there, it assembles a jury, and I guess also picks a judge to create the legal necessity to conduct a trial, a jury trial, and then the jury, once they're selected, they are interacting as normally a jury would do, but the possibility of corrupting that jury, buying off a jurist, buying off a judge, has been reduced probably down to almost 0%, correct?
That's correct.
Wow. So where is this project? Have you had any instances of using this yet? Is there a case study? Is it up and running?
Look, we have published our white paper on November 2015, and that had a huge impact on the academic community. It was studied by professors at Yale, at Stanford, at MIT, and we were invited to the D10E Congress in Amsterdam to talk about that. It's a congress about Bitcoin and other technologies of decentralization. And now we're starting to build the prototype, which we think will be ready like a couple of months from now. So it's not yet working, but it will be soon.
All righty. And so now you've also been accepted into what's called Singularity University. Can you talk a little bit about that? What's that all about?
Yeah, Singularity University is a university that is a Silicon Valley. It's a program that they bring 80 people from over every country in the world. Each of them is working at a different disruptive technology. And we will be there for 3 months trying to improve our projects, and in my case, the Crowdjury, and like speaking with experts in different disciplines. And the goal is to end this process of 3 months in August with a much better focused project, the prototype. And from that moment, we are trying to look at different early adopters of the platform. And I think Singularity will be very helpful to accomplish that. We're trying to build a justice system for the 21st century.
I don't know if you're aware of it or not, but here in the UK, there's a platform and a site called crowdjustice.co.uk where people are crowdfunding their legal actions. So, for example, in this country, the junior doctors who are suing the government, I guess, are able to raise funds through crowdfunding. So conceivably, this whole legal system is being transformed using crowdfunding and crowdsourcing in this way. So a lawsuit can be brought and funded through the crowd, and then the jury would end up going to Crowdjury. I would imagine that Crowdjury could be licensed to countries all over the world, correct? Is that one of your intentions?
Yes, I know Crowdjustice. There are like synergies with Crowdjury. I believe the first applications of Crowdjury will be communities where no justice system exists yet. Just think about a global platform for freelancers. I am in Buenos Aires, you are in London, so you hire me maybe to do a website for you, and I deliver the website, and you tell me, this is not what I paid, give me my money back. So there is no solution for this just yet, because you can't go to a lawyer in Buenos Aires to sue me, and you just lost your money. So I think the first adopters of Crowdjury will be communities like this, global communities where there is no system for adjudication yet, because this is a new community, and I think what we are building will be very helpful for people who do business across the borders. And this is very, very common today, and it's going to become even more common in the future. So I think the adoption in the legal state justice systems will be a step further, but I don't think that states are going to use Crowdjury in the short term.
Well, let's talk about the finance business for a second. You know, people who open accounts with brokerage firms, they sign a new account form, and in that new account form, it says that they're bound to any legal disputes to be settled by arbitration. And typically, the arbitration is stacked with people from inside the finance community. One reason why these banks on Wall Street and in the City of London, they don't suffer any meaningful financial penalty for their crimes is because of this arbitration clause in the contracts that are signed by new customers, binding them to this system. So conceivably, a bank or a broker that wants to be competitive could create a system where they're not going to sign to this arbitration clause. They're going to sign on to Crowdjury, that if there is any legal dispute, we're going to go and take it to Crowdjury. And I would think that, competitively speaking, that would give a tremendous boost to anybody who decided to do that. What are your thoughts?
I think it's you have the right intuition, because that's one of the business cases we're analyzing. And yes, I think that it adds a lot to the transparency to a financial institution that solves disputes in an open, independent, and neutral jury has an advantage over other institutions that does not use this kind of system. So that's the service we want to provide, and we believe that it will be very helpful for transparenting lots of relations in the international community of business that are not transparent today.
Let me just take this idea off on a tangent for a second. You know, so much of the world economy now is being replaced by robots, and people are quite concerned about this. However, is it possible that in a Crowdjury situation, part of the jury could be robotic or algorithmically driven? In other words, not a sentient human being, but a computer that could weigh in and render a verdict. Your thoughts?
Absolutely, yes. The jury we didn't define if it is human or not human. It could be perfectly robots, and the plaintiff and the defendant could also be robots. Maybe one robot could sue another robot because he didn't do some job well, and maybe they should go to trial, and other algorithm made of robots could settle the case. Yes, absolutely.
It sounds a bit on the edge of what could be possible, but we are already seeing instances where robots are gaining enough sentient power, conscious power, that the idea of them seeking legal representation is really coming into the possibility of the reality. So what you're describing is one robot suing another robot and going to a court that is crowdsourcing a jury of other robots. This is actually not outside the realm of possibility. Your thoughts?
I think the limit of what's possible and not possible is moving every day. So you never know what's going to be the world in 20 years. And let me add another case. Imagine virtual reality communities. Now, Facebook is developing these virtual reality helmets, and lots of the things we're going to do in the future will be in virtual reality worlds. So my avatar could sue your avatar on this kingdom of virtual reality, and there would be a jury to decide who is right. So robots and VR are within the limits of possibility from here to 10 or 20 years.
Right, and we should, point out that the mother of invention is adversity, and the Argentinian economy and the political system is so screwed up, to lack of a better term, that the people there have needed to invent new ways to deal with their society. So, and it sounds like there's a bit of hope and optimism in that you're able to at least address these problems with something and maybe improve the situation. Your thoughts?
Absolutely. I think it was born in Buenos Aires maybe because we had all this story of difficulties, corruption, and we think that it was born here, but it's something for the world. And you are totally right. It was born because of necessity, because we didn't see a way out for the Argentine court system. So we said, what can we do to improve all this? And
all right, fair enough. Okay, so Federico, we're out of time. Thanks so much for being on the Keiser Report.
Thanks for having me.
All right, that's going to do it for this episode of the Keiser Report with me, Max Keiser, and Stacey Herbert. I'd like to thank our guest, Federico Ast of Crowdjury.org. If you'd like to get in touch, tweet us at Keiser Report. Until next time, bye, y'all.